Great Harvest Village had always been peaceful. Every morning, Mara helped the villagers harvest crops, never imagining that her life was about to change forever. Then, time itself stopped. The wind disappeared. The birds froze in the sky. Everyone became motionless, except Mara. A mysterious power had chosen her. A system unlike anything she had ever seen appeared before her eyes. And with it came a responsibility that would decide the fate of an entire village. The mysterious system had chosen Mara. Its message was simple: protect the village within 3 days, or everyone would die. To prove the danger was real, the system showed her a terrifying vision of the future. A future where Great Harvest Village was destroyed. The only hope was a magical blueprint filled with defenses the village had never seen before. With just 72 hours left, Mara made her decision. When Mara warned everyone about the coming attack, most of the villagers thought she was just a frightened child, until the system revealed the truth. With only a few days left, the entire village worked together. Every wall, every watchtower, and every trap brought them one step closer to survival. But as the village prepared, something deep within the forest was already watching them. The final day had arrived. Every villager worked together, hoping their defenses would be enough. As night fell, an uneasy silence covered the village. But beyond the mountains, the wolves were already gathering. When the countdown reached 0, the system's warning echoed across the sky. The first monster wave had begun. The 3 days were over. The system's warning echoed through the night as every villager prepared for the battle they had feared. The first monster wave arrived. Hundreds of wolves charged from the forest, led by the terrifying black wolf Alpha. As the village fought for survival, the system gave Mara a new mission. But before she could face the wolves, an even greater threat revealed itself. The wolves suddenly retreated, not because they were defeated, but because their true leader had arrived. The horned devourer was unlike anything the village had ever seen. One roar was enough to shake the earth and destroy their defenses. Just when all hope seemed lost, the system granted Mara a mysterious new power. For the first time, she was ready to fight back. With her new power awakened, Mara launched the first attack against the horned devourer. For the first time, the monster could bleed. But victory was still far away. Every wound healed within seconds, and the system revealed the terrifying truth. The boss could regenerate. There was only one way to win. Destroy the glowing core hidden inside the monster's chest. Or watch Great Harvest Village fall. The battle seemed impossible. Even the system predicted only a 12% chance of victory. But the system had been watching Mara's courage all along. Her determination awakened a hidden class. Village Guardian. With one final strike, Mara shattered the boss's core. The horned devourer fell, and Great Harvest Village was finally safe, or so everyone believed. The villagers believed the nightmare was over. They celebrated their victory, grateful that Mara had saved Great Harvest Village. But deep beneath Black Wolf Mountain, the horned devourer had only been a guardian. Its defeat shattered an ancient seal that had imprisoned something far more dangerous. As the system announced a world event, Mara realized the battle she had fought was only the beginning. The true enemy had finally awakened. For the first time in her life, Mara left the village behind. Beyond the mountains waited a place no one had returned from. The dungeon welcomed no heroes, only silence, and the remains of those who had failed. The first floor seemed easy, until Mara realized someone or something was watching from the darkness. The Dungeon King watched every step Mara took, and he was already preparing his strongest generals. The first floor wasn't empty. It was an army waiting for its next victim. No matter how many skeletons she destroyed, they kept rising again. The skeletons weren't reviving on their own. Hidden in the darkness, a necromancer was controlling every one of them. Every battle Mara fought was being watched, and the Dungeon King was beginning to take an interest. The necromancer didn't need to defeat Mara with strength. One curse was enough to weaken even the system's chosen guardian. The old compass wasn't just a keepsake. It carried the spirit of the village's very first guardian. With the guardian spirit's help, Mara discovered the source of the necromancer's power. One perfect strike shattered the cursed crystal, and the entire skeleton army collapsed. The skeleton army had only guarded the first floor, beyond the ancient gate, and a rank death knight was already waiting. The second floor was silent. Too silent. Every step brought Mara closer to the dungeon's first true guardian. Even the system admitted the truth. Mara had less than a 10% chance of winning. There was only one chance. Hidden beneath layers of enchanted armor, the Death Knight's core had finally been revealed. To the Dungeon King, Mara wasn't just an enemy anymore. She was becoming part of a much bigger plan. Every attack from the Death Knight was powerful enough to destroy stone. Yet Mara refused to fall. The Guardian's resolve awakened once more, giving Mara the speed she desperately needed. Their strongest attacks collided with enough force to shake the entire dungeon. When the dust settled, the Death Knight's perfect defense had finally begun to break. For the first time in centuries, the Dungeon King rose from his throne. The Death Knight had one final attack left. But Mara knew this would be her only chance. With one perfect strike, the guardian of the second floor finally fell. The Death Knight left behind more than victory. A legendary relic awakened a new power and revealed a path that had been hidden for centuries. The Dungeon King wasn't angry that his guardian had fallen. He had been waiting for someone strong enough to defeat it. Beyond the dungeon wasn't another battlefield. It was an entire kingdom erased from history. The ring had awakened an ancient spirit, the last queen of a kingdom lost to time. The truth changed everything. The Dungeon King wasn't born a monster. Long ago, he had been a guardian, just like Mara. For the first time, the Dungeon King showed emotion, and Mara's greatest enemy suddenly seemed far more tragic than anyone had imagined. The palace wasn't just a ruin. It was a library of forgotten memories. His name was Orion, the greatest guardian in history. But even the strongest hero could not escape the darkness. The Dungeon King was never evil. He was a hero who sacrificed everything to save the world. And now, the system gave Mara a mission no guardian had ever received. For centuries, Orion had waited for someone to learn the truth. And that someone was Mara. For the first time, the system contradicted itself. One mission told Mara to save Orion. The other demanded his death. The deeper Mara searched, the more impossible the truth became. The kingdom had not fallen because of Orion. Someone else had betrayed the Guardian. While Mara searched for answers, the real enemy had already begun making its move. Orion knew the truth better than anyone, and he feared that saving him might cost Mara everything. The kingdom hadn't forgotten the seventh guardian. Someone had erased him from history. The kingdom was never defeated by an army. It was betrayed by one of its own heroes. After centuries of hiding, the seventh guardian returned, and this time he came not as a hero, but as humanity's greatest enemy. The final battle between two legendary guardians was about to begin. After centuries apart, the two greatest guardians in history finally stood face to face. Instead of attacking Mara, Orion protected her. The darkness imprisoning him was finally beginning to break. The enemy was never Orion. To save the world, the first guardian and the newest guardian would have to fight as one. Lucian was only a servant. Beyond the world itself, an ancient ruler had finally awakened. For the first time in centuries, two guardians fought side by side, but Lucian had expected this all along. Lucian's attack was powerful enough to erase an entire kingdom. But together, the guardians held the line. The system wasn't just a tool. It was created to protect the entire world. And somehow, Mara had unlocked its highest authority. Someone, or something, had finally awakened. the creator of the system itself. The system had accepted Mara as its highest authority. Across the world, every guardian tower answered her call. For thousands of years, the creator had remained silent, waiting for a guardian worthy of inheriting the system. Lucian had betrayed the guardians, but he was only a pawn. Beyond the stars, the true destroyer of worlds had finally arrived. The battle for one village had become a battle for every world. For the first time in history, every person on Earth witnessed the same nightmare. The true destroyer of worlds had finally arrived. The traitor had never been an equal, only a disposable servant. Enemies became allies. Legends stood together once more. And for the first time in centuries, the Guardians fought as one. The Void King wasn't born from darkness. Something or someone was imprisoned inside him. The greatest monster in existence wasn't empty. Deep inside its heart, a child had been imprisoned for thousands of years. The Void King wasn't born evil. They had sacrificed everything, trying to save the universe. The system offered the safest choice, but Mara had never chosen the easiest path. She chose hope. For the first time in thousands of years, the child inside the Void King reached out to someone, while the world fought for survival. Mara charged into the heart of the greatest monster ever created. For thousands of years, no one had spoken to the child with kindness. Against every prediction, hope won. The 1% miracle became reality. The world had been saved. But beyond the horizon, countless new adventures were waiting.